Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Detail, working on a classic Porsche, an 83 911 Cabriolet. I thought I would have you guys by my side as we progress through each step. The paint is oxidized, scratched, and swirled. It is single stage, and we'll see just in a few short seconds when we get out the paint depth gauge what is original, what has been repaired, if any. The interior needs a little TLC. Brian's going to take care of that. So when it comes to the oxidation, and I'm going to bring you in close so you get an idea here of what we're after. Oxidation is dead paint molecules caused by oxygen and the sun's rays, and especially on single stage, you can go quite deep. So we're going to shave a little bit. This really isn't deep oxidation. It shouldn't take a whole lot. There are other areas of imperfections to take care of, and the wet sanding or color sanding that we have in mind for this project will take care of absolutely all of that. First thing is first, a test spot. For two things here in this case, to test if we have a single stage or cleared paint. This year of classic vehicle, it's pretty much going to be single stage, and that's what we have. Paint transfer, the white getting onto the towel, and a lot of that is paint and oxidation as well. Let me wipe off the residue, bring you in a little closer, and you can see we do have nice, lively, glossy, reflective paint under that. We just need to get to it. Let's get some numbers behind what we're seeing here. The overall dullness, because of the oxidation, will not let the light bounce off of the surface and reflect back into your eyes to see the gloss. And we're in the 60s, 50s, 70s. A lot of room for improvement here. Before we get started on polishing and test spots, we're going to take some paint depth measurements. I'm expecting between 5 and 7.5 mils of both primer and the color coat layers. And it's pretty much what we will find almost all the way around until we get to the back hood. Some serious repair, very thick Bondo, but that and maybe the back driver's side quarter panel has been resprayed. Other than that, pretty much original and what we would expect when it comes to thickness. Yes, we have a lot of paint to work with, and we can get aggressive if we want to, but our goal here is to get the customer the result he needs or desires with the least aggressive method necessary. So when it comes to the budget for this particular job, this is mid-tier, leaning towards the lower tier of packages. Meaning, there is going to be a little bit of disassembly. It's going to be minor emblems and frames for license plates and small areas and things like that so we can get to all the painted surfaces. We will not be pulling lights apart, bumpers off, and anything we need to get to absolutely all the painted surfaces, which we do have packages that we would do so. There's limitations that each customer has, and we can customize a package for absolutely everybody and their budget. You will also take notice, it's a great idea that we're doing the little amount of disassembly that we are, because underneath is plenty of years of dirt built up. We will clean. By the way, pretty much all the classic collectibles and antiques that we do, they're going to be cleaned and washed rinseless or waterless. We will not test the seals with a bucket wash on a classic antique or collectible. So today we're going to break out the hydro once again. And you can see what we're going after here. It does need a bath. By the way, each step we take with the wash and decon process will be exfoliating more and more of those dead paint molecules or the oxidation. Next step, we're going to break out the clay bar and the clay lube from Gian. Now, the clay process is excellent for removing traffic film and bonded contaminants, and also does an okay job to get started shaving off some of the oxidation with the clay bar as well. A little bit of adhesive and some transfer, some tar, and some awful muckiness here and there on the surface of the vehicle, and we will tackle that with Citral 266. Much cleaner now. The wash and decon process can sometimes take a full day, day and a half, but we're getting closer to the correction. The next thing we want to do, there is a lot of trim and seals, rubber grommets to protect. They are quite brittle at this point and very absorbent because they're dried out. And we don't want to stain. We don't want to damage with the backing plate or the pad. So we will do some taping. Now, we don't need to tape the vehicle like we're painting. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just tape off enough areas to protect yourself, protect the vehicle, and cover the wheels as well. They are now clean. No need for wet sand splatter, polish splatter getting on them to cause you more work. Now it's time to tape off an actual test spot so we can see what combination um, sand grit, pad, polisher, correction fluid will get us to where we want to be result wise. My favorite, if you're a follower of the channel, is wet sanding with the Trizac disc by hand. Today we'll try something different just to show you that it works, and that is the denim-like pads from Rupes, and we'll put it on this cobalt polisher here. It's a short throw, so it's actually perfect, doesn't have a ton of power, and will keep us out of trouble on edges, peaks, body lines if we choose to use this. Should have them soaking in water already, but you can wet them down with a spray bottle, wet the area. We're going to do a wet sanding method. I try to keep the shop clean. We do paint protection film. We do not want airborne contaminants, so the wet sanding keeps everything contained and just runs down off the side of the car onto the floor to be cleaned up later. So at this point, we are making progress shaving through that oxidation and down into the color coat. And that's what you see there running down on the blue tape, the masking tape. And as we wipe off the residue, that will also transfer over onto your towels. When working on single stage, get older second or third tier towels, pads, applicators, anything that will touch the paint. So now that we have it shaved off, exfoliated with the wet sanding disc or denim pad, we can polish out from there. And I was using a 3000 grit pad, or what is equivalent to 3000 grit. That easily polishes out with any mid-tier polish and pad. And we have an older 50/50 pad, and we're going to use Phoenix EOD to polish this out. Again, use older pads. You'll see it start to transfer the color onto the pad. That needs to be cleaned between every pass to stay absolutely effective. And we'll use the panel prep before we really go in and take a look, because there's going to be a lot of residue left over from wet sanding and polishing at once. So there we go. We can in fact see that there is some nice glossy paint underneath. When you're working with oxidation, you never know what's underneath. When a customer comes in and we quote a job, we always let them know once we remove that oxidation, you never know what you'll find. Anything from staining to etching to solvent pop to just discolored paint. Maybe paint that just can't be brought back to life and is too thin. But in this case, we're going to be in good shape. So Brian takes over and he uses the Trizac discs and goes over the whole vehicle. And what I want to show you is that step removed all the scratching I showed you in this area at the beginning of the video. So we are in good shape. We can really now put the wet sanding discs down and grab the polisher and move on. And of course, we'll take care of the larger panels with a 5-inch backing plate, a larger polisher with a larger throw. And as we get into smaller panels and tighter areas, we just step down to smaller and tighter polishers. And there is indeed going to be a third step with this package. This is single stage, very absorbent, very dry. So we're going to use LVR 404 from Extreme Solutions. This is for lighter colors. And this will polish and clean up what we've already covered and then lay down an acrylic layer or crust on top of that absorbent single stage. So for the next step, when we go to coat it, that coating won't wick in or absorb into the paint and need multiple layers. One layer will stay on top of the surface and do the job. So one last trip around the vehicle, and you can see even this stage or step here, you will get transfer. Your towels and your pads will need cleaning, and I advise not using new pads or towels or applicators for a job like this. When we're finished, remove the tape. We're going to have trim to clean. There's going to be a little bit of transfer from the runoff of the wet sanding stage, and that will possibly stain things, so clean off the areas as quick as possible. We're going to first try with a mild alcohol solution. If that doesn't work, we just break out our usual Citral 266. Next step, touch up. And there are many ways to go about this. Dr. Color Chip, OEM paint, and we're just going to use some color coat OEM paint. No need to mix clear in because this vehicle doesn't have clear coat, keeps things nice and simple. The acrylic, the touch-up paint, will need cure time. We're going to give it 24 hours. And after that point, it's time to coat it. And we're going to break out our Blue Collar 1 polysiloxane, 3 to 5 year coating. The easiest coating you're going to grab and use. You can use this not only in a shop setting, but in direct sunlight, humidity. Those that have used it, go ahead and share your experience down in the comments section. Today I'm going to use a different pad just to show you any application pad for this coating works. I normally use a small block, micro suede. We're going to use a microfiber, a larger block. Just prime it for the first panel or two. Then after that, it just takes one single line all the way down the center of the applicator and you are good to go. The lights above are messing with the color a little bit. I apologize for that. There's a little bit of shading here and there, but I think you could see pretty much how easy this is to use, apply, and remove. Two microfibers to wipe off. The first one gets most of the transfer solution up off of the panel, leaving the polysiloxane behind. The second one comes in and buffs to perfection. And of course, I'm going to leave a link down below if you want to look into the coating itself. Really moving right along when it comes to the paint, but you can apply the coating to absolutely all hard surfaces on the exterior of your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or RV, including plastic trim, rubber, headlights, taillights, aluminum, stainless steel, black piano finish, any trim at all. And of course, don't forget your wheels and calipers. Blue Collar 1 only needs 4 hours to cure. It bonds quickly, so we can start the reassembly process in no time at all. With all the emblems and frames and plates back on, it's time to top the coating. Blue Collar 3 can be put on top of BC 1 or 2 within 4 hours, and you can send the vehicle. The days of the vehicle tying up your bay overnight or 24 to 36 to 48 hours are over with Blue Collar 1. This coating was made for those that have high volume but smaller area to work with in your shop. Also, if you're mobile or a DIY or enthusiast, you can coat your vehicle if you have the timing down right and top it at the end of the day and not have to worry about coming back and doing any more work. And just like all of the Blue Collar products, effortless to use and can be used in direct sunlight and some pretty crazy heat and humidity. So now it's time to put the cherry on top, some of the small finishing touches, including the tire shine. That will take care of all of the work, all the steps, the progress and results. Now we can stand back, take a deep breath, enjoy those results. Let me do a walk around. The shop manager in the background here approves and show you those results, and I'll take it outside as well. Before we pull the vehicle outside, let me show you the gloss meter readings before we did the correction and the protection package, and then after, and then we'll go outside. The customer's on his way. It's staged and ready to be picked up and enjoyed. That will do it for this video. If you have any questions at all on the process, I'm glad you were there to join me through the process. We'll catch you guys in the next video.